No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Welcome to the Triple P, the perfect parlay pursuit. We bet on every fight, and last Saturday was no different. Some of us did, some of us did. We'll talk about it. We'll recap UFC Vegas 44, Aldo versus Ponz. And then in a couple seconds, we're going to have a very special guest joining us. It's going to be a mystery until he joins, but he is on the way. And guys, what do we have to say about last night? I went 8 out of 13. And some of you might be saying, hey, that's well above 60%, Luke. Wow. Compared to how we've been doing, 11 out of 13s. I mean, we've had a lot of perfect, 100% perfect parlay pursuit certified picks nights. I mean, where it was been PUB certified picks for 100%. 8 out of 13 is not where I want to be. But seeing your guys' results and seeing some of the results from around the community with the chaos that ensued last Saturday night, I'm actually taking a sigh of relief with 8 out of 13. Not everything went according to plan. Alex, tell me about your night.
Terrible night. I was riding high. I gave you guys great picks in the Discord. I gave you the Warriors over mid-game live bet it. I hammered it. I hammered the Michigan over. I hammered Alabama roll tide, baby. I told you the roll tide was going to roll all day. All right.
And you got them at 33% profit boost. You got Alabama as big underdogs.
Big underdogs, took a money line. I got him at a 33% profit boost. As Luke said, got him at plus 310. It was a great payout for me. I was riding hot. And I thought I couldn't possibly lose any more fights after losing so many in a row. I got a little crazy. I lost a lot of money. I'm very sad. I only got 4 fights correct. I did switch one in the Discord. Should be 5. 4 out of how many, Luke?
13.
4 out of 13. Absolutely horrendous night. I don't know what to say for myself. It was terrible. Dan?
Out of the 3 you got right, Alex, real quick, before Dan goes, out of the 3 you got right, what were the 3 and who were the best? Who's the best one out of them?
3 is the key number there.
4.
4. Oh, you got 4. I'm sorry. You got 4. You edged Dan by 1 pick.
Yeah, 4.
It should be 5. But I got Jose Aldo, Alex Morono. Let me see who else. Manel Cape, William Knight.
And then Puelas is who you switched to.
Yeah, I switched to Puelas in the Discord. So Those are the only ones I got correct.
Okay. Well, listen, William Knight was Triple B certified. He was 1 out of 3 we got correct. If you guys are following, we are currently, as it stands at the moment, even with the 1 out of 3 night we just had, we're 94 out of 129 in year 2 for Triple B certified picks. We are 52 out of 64 the last 11 events. Last 11 events were 81% accurate Triple B certified picks. Last night was our worst night in over 11 events. 73% accurate in year 2 Triple B certified picks. And our records are all posted. Alex's and Dan's definitely need to be updated. I know that you are not still 68% after a 4 or even 5 out of 13 night. And Dan, 63, you might be closer to 60 after that 3 out of 13 night. Why don't you take everybody through what picks went well, what picks didn't? I know William Knight was definitely one of them because he was Triple B certified, the only one that hit out of 3. What do you think?
Well, so you alluded to William Knight right there. That was one of my 3. The other was Vince Morales. And let me just take a quick peek here. I forget what was the other one I got right. I mean, I should know this being that I only got 3. Let me see. I got it right here. Oh, Jamal Hill. And you guys, I'm actually happy that I got at least that one right. If I only got 3 right, that was one of the key ones that I was looking forward to because you guys were shitting all over me for the pick. You were big on Jimmy the Brute Crew, and I was big on Jamal Hill, and I think he's got a pretty bright future there at light heavyweight. The boxing looks slick. First round knockout for a guy who's pretty damn durable in Crew. That's about the highlight of my night. It did not go well from there, as indicated by my record. 3 wins is unacceptable. If anyone lost money on my picks, That's on me. This one, UFC 269, it's going to be a banger, and I promise to get your money back up where it deserves to be. But, man, I mean, we could break this card down, but not going to be fun on my part.
Yeah, I mean, that's some pretty imperial language you're using there. I mean, you promise that you're going to get people's money back, and it's on you. So what does that imply? You're going to pay them for the
It's on me. It's on me.
You're going to pay them? Like, let me say this: if I ever give you a losing pick, that's on you. It's not on me. This podcast is entertainment purposes only, and I don't guarantee results next week.
It's hyperbolic language. I'm assuming that our audience, understands.
No, I think you mean it. I think that if somebody really did meet you in real life and was like, "I lost this amount," and they showed it to you, you probably would reciprocate in some way. But moving on, you said you had Vince Moraes. I had him as well. I thought people were crazy for taking Smolka. I really did. I've been high on Moraes since his last fight with Draco Rodriguez. I thought he's shown a lot of improvement, shows like he wants to be there, shows up in shape, and shows up ready to deliver, confident and ready to go. Had him correct. Puelas had him correct. Again, Gritsmacher does what he does. He kept himself in the fight, and I thought Puelas might have been on his way to losing. I know other people had it differently. They thought he was winning, but I wasn't so sure with the way some judges' decisions were going. He pulled it off with a knee bar, thank goodness. Alluding to our next fight, speaking of judges' decisions, I wasn't all that confident William Knight won. He was triple B certified, but by the end of it, I mean, he definitely did the bigger damage. And, like Bisping said, you don't get rewarded for pushing people against the cage. So, William Knight won. Fair enough. We took a good bounce. Velismas dominates the whole fight. Looked amazing doing it. If that's what she looks like 2 weeks off of COVID, I can't wait to see this girl in the future. Cheyenne Velismas, you delivered for Christmas. Thank you very much. I switched that pick on the second podcast. My early pick was maybe Mallory Martin hesitantly, and then I switched when we did the second episode on Tuesday. Fifth fight, Brian Barberina. I picked him. He gets the win. Looking good. But again, very close. Could have really gone either way. Manel Kopp, I pick him. We're 6 fights in, guys, and I have 6 out of 6 correct picks. So that's how my night was going. And by that point, a lot of my parlays that I needed wins as underdogs, like William Knight, for example, Moraes, for example, those ones, they made it through creating variability in the upper echelon, meaning that I didn't necessarily need Fiziev anymore because certain ones had made it through that didn't have Fiziev on it. I didn't necessarily even need some of the other picks later in the night to come through, right? I would have traded the Barberina parlay. The parlays I had Barberina in, I would have traded all those away to have Santos pull out the win because I had Santos across every single one. I just thought I was going to be disappointed. I thought the first round was going to go the first way the first round went, and the ref was going to stop it. I even saw Clay up against the fence like that. You know what I mean? It looked like it was going that way, and I really can't stress enough how much I hate when guys come in with poor gas tanks and can do and deliver a beating like that, but then just quit in the second round. I mean, we saw it with Fluffy Hernandez taking on Rodolfo Vieira. We saw it against, but he didn't even deliver a beating in the first round. At least Puelas came in there and showed something, at the beginning. I mean, 41 unanswered strikes to 0. That's a 10-8 by anybody's criteria, maybe even a 10-7. He absolutely dominated that first round. I just wish that no nonsense Keith Peterson had a little bit of nonsense in him to stop that fight. And Rob, honestly, the great American hero that is Clay Guida of that amazing victory. I know that's the best moment of his career. That's a highlight. It's amazing. His parents were there. It was so great. I wish I could have been happy for him because I'm a great Clay Guida fan. I'm a big Clay Guida fan. I have been since the time I started watching the sport. Everybody has been. We're all Clay Guida fans. But man, Clay, I'm still happy for him, honestly. I'm still a little bit happy for him.
Is that the fight that really sunk all your parlays right there?
Well, Santos was I mistakenly it sunk all the ones that were remaining by that point. Yep.
Yeah, we completely overlooked
I would have come away
his age. I
can't be too mad because I had Font and probably wouldn't have hedged. So
maybe.
Yeah, but that's really where things fell apart was Maki Pitolo loses to Dusko Todorovic, and that took away some variability. Mickey Gall loses. I had him in a couple. I didn't have him in a lot. I didn't even have Maki in all of them, but both of those losses, Maki took away a lot of variability. I had him in a lot.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that real quick?
We can.
Pulling the guillotine, dude, talk about just low IQ as far as, and just lack of self-knowledge, dude. You're pulling a guillotine on a guy whose game is largely dependent on grappling. He's not a grappler. I mean, I said in the last podcast that he improved a lot, but clearly the advantage for him would be on his feet. And oh my God, that was just sickening. As it's happening in real time, I'm just, what are you doing?
It was absolutely heartbreaking. Alex, I'll let you comment on that. But first, we have our special guest joining us. He's been on the podcast before. He's a fan favorite. Big person in the community. He's everywhere. Tovaun Anthony, welcome to the Perfect Parlay Pursuit.
Oh, man, that was a heck of an introduction, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing, could be better. That was a chaotic weekend. We were just discussing the Maki Pitolo fight. We had him Triple P certified. He was a dog that we were so confident in. And to see him go out, perform so dominantly in round one, I mean, Alex, I know you had him in a lot of parlays when he went down by jumping guillotine. I mean, guys, only 37 or 24, somewhere in that range, percentage of all fights ends in submission. He's dominating on the feet, and he's going to pull a black belt into his guard with hoping to get a guillotine.
Sometimes, dude, like, sometimes you're on a roll, and it's just that one thing. Like, it happens, and it really sucks when it does, but it happens.
Yeah, how did you have that fight going? Were you on Maki or were you on Dusko?
I was on Maki. In the beginning, like I thought he was going to win it, and I don't know. It's because of Dusko's last, not just his last fight. How many fights has he had in the UFC up to this point?
I think like 3.
Right? Yeah, I just
it's Contender Series product, right?
I was just never confident in his skills. Like what he's good at, he's not good at defending. Like that's just what I saw. So I didn't have him winning that fight at all. And then just to see it turn like that, kind of, not gonna lie, I got up and just went to the bathroom.
It's hard, Alex, because Dusko he did everything that we thought he was going to do as far as head movement and his ability to strike goes. And then he was kind of given that victory on a silver platter because Maki welcomed the fight to the ground. He's clearly better on the ground than people have given him credit for. He's a black belt. I think in the future, we should look for Dusko to win in fights where he is equal to the fighter on the feet, but then maybe has that edge on the ground because I think it's there to be exploited when he wants to use it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That was terrible to watch. Maki was actually connecting with some big shots. Probably could have ended up winning the fight, maybe even finishing Dusko late in the first or into the second round. There wasn't really much time left either. I think wasn't there only like a minute left in the round when he pulled guillotine. Still absolutely terrible. You hate to see that. You hate to lose money like that, but you know, it wasn't the worst loss of the night. Like you were talking about Leandro Santos earlier. I've never really seen somebody come back from a 49-0 striking deficit besides the guy who Randy Costa fought that one time. What was that, Adrian Yanez?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh my goodness. That was definitely a fight where I was just like, are we fine? Are we seeing Yanez exposed right now? And I mean, he pulled through in the end, but I kind of felt like an idiot. I had a party that night, and I had friends. I'm like, yeah, no, Yanez is gonna box dude up. Oh, I was wrong. And then he finally won. I'm like, yeah.
See, I thought I was seeing the second coming of an elite level striker in Randy Costa.
Yeah.
I think he might need to move up a weight class. I don't know what it is because how do you will it in the second round? It's becoming his MO.
Yeah, it's kind of terrible. Like. He is definitely that guy for 7 minutes. He is that guy for 7 minutes. And it's like we run into a lot of those fighters, right? Where it's just like, well, if only they could keep that pace just a little bit longer. Probably a top contender, potentially world champion. Not saying he is, but it happens. It happens. Everyone has an Achilles heel, but it just sucks when that's the case.
Yeah, and there were a couple more fights I wanted to highlight on this card. Dan, you mentioned the Jamal Hill fight. I'll give you your props. You picked a good dog in Jamal Hill there. It's funny because when he pretty much knocked Jimmy Crute out, Jimmy Crute almost took him down. He instantly resorted to that double leg. He just, and it was the same as when Anthony Smith turned off his ankle with the leg kick, that he resorted to the double leg and actually got it against Smith. I mean, he almost got it after being literally knocked unconscious against Hill. It makes you wonder if you came out and shot that double leg instantly, Jimmy, what would have happened? What would have happened? Would you have won the fight? I'm sick of Jimmy Crute going in there and wanting to strike first and wrestle second. I want him to wrestle and use his ground game first. He's now been knocked out by Jamal Hill. Was getting jabbed up by Anthony Smith. I will not bet Jimmy Crute again until I see him go into a fight and execute with a wrestling game plan. Now, I'm sure his next opponent will be a cupcake because now he's faced 2 hammers, and I know the UFC, he's young, he's up and coming, he's exciting. They want to keep him up in the UFC. They're not going to give him a 3rd hammer. If they do, I'm taking the hammer. But if they don't, I mean, I'll probably take him. But I'm just saying, I'm going to be very conservative with Jim Crute moving forward because I don't think the ring IQ is there, speaking of ring IQ.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, though, the knockout was pretty early on. And as we know, every fight starts standing
48
up.
seconds. True, 48 seconds. 48 seconds.
So I don't think he had all that much time to implement any grappling at all.
Ben Askren would have had 3 takedowns attempted.
Yeah. Well,
he said attempted. He said attempted.
That's Ben Askren.
See him in that Robbie Lawler fight? See him in that Masvidal fight? My man Ben has had a thorough takedown. And to everybody who commented on my Instagram story and told me that I looked like Ben Askren with my boxing skills on the Cobra bag, first of all, you know that's not true. Second of all, I got the Cobra bag out of the box that day. Haven't even had 2 hours on the Cobra bag yet. So there's going to be improvement. The Cobra bag will probably hit your fucking ass in the face. So if you want to step up into my DMs again, make sure your account is not private because I'm coming back at you hard and I'm broadcasting you on my story to all of my followers, and then you can deal with people in your DMs. All right. And you know who you are if that's you. Okay. So anyway.
Oh my God.
Next, the only other 2 fights I want to talk about, Fiziev and Font. Basically, Fiziev, I picked Fiziev. I was on an island. A lot of people were taking Riddell. They loved him as a dog there. They thought he was going to use his wrestling. He tried a couple times. Fiziev shucked them off and said, we ain't doing that here. This is a Tiger Muay Thai smoker is what this is. This is what the students always dreamed of, baby. And I will amend my original statements. Fiziev and Riddell were both coaches at Tiger Muay Thai. Fiziev was not Riddell's coach. They were both coaches. Riddell left. Fiziev came in after he became the coach. That was a dream fight. That was a dream matchup with an amazing ending. That wheel kick was so perfectly. He spun him. He timed him. He spun him into it so perfectly. Amazing kick. Amazing knockout. Knockdown, TKO, whatever you want to call it. But fantastic finish. What do you guys think about that one? Alex, I know that's where your night kind of really went to shit.
Yeah, that was a real heartbreaker for me. Last ditch effort after Michigan hit the over. I put all the winnings that I got on Michigan directly on Brad Riddell and Jose Aldo. Definitely a heartbreaker when you see Jose Aldo dominate as well. It would have been a nice little paycheck. But, you know, and I thought Brad Riddell had a chance of getting the call from the judges, but you hate to see that get knocked out last second. Now I'll never even know.
I tried to save my night on a parlay with Fiziev and Font and to break even basically on the night. So I just went deeper into the hole because Fiziev won and then Font lost. So, and Font, again, looked so good at so many different moments in the fight, but Jose Aldo is so resistant. Like you guys gotta stop leg kicking this man. You gotta stop body shotting this man. If you want to beat Jose Aldo, you gotta switch him off like McGregor did, or like with position like Holloway or Jan did, and just get the ref to pull you off. But he is not going to quit. He is not going to slow down. He is not going to stop pursuing you. You are not going to tire him out. Aldo needs to be shut off like McGregor did if you want to beat him. I said it. Aldo has impressed me. I've been on the wrong side of Aldo so many times trying to fade him, trying to believe that he's this old war horse with no evidence. Besides, the fact that his fights, but no evidence actually if you look at him physically and what he's doing with his training and how he's approaching the sport. That all, I should have been given him more respect. I should have believed him at his word. I didn't. Now I believe Jose Aldo at his word. The days of me trying to fade him with these young up-and-comers are done. And the days of me backing anyone that utters the name Tyson Chartier are done. I took Calvin Kattar against Holloway. I look like an idiot now. I took Rob Font against Aldo. I look like a moron at this point. Tyson Chartier, get his name out of the conversation. He's not in there with the Eugene Berrymans or even the Greg Jackson. Tyson Chartier, until further notice, is over with Edmund Tarzukian, or whatever his name is. Edmund
not Tavardian.
His name Ronda Rousey's coach. I don't know. He's Josh Fabia. Tyson Chartier, Josh Fabia. Same. Two people who coach people into going out there and getting their asses whooped. That's what he's good at. Coaching his guys into getting their asses whooped.
And then tell them they're doing fine.
The New England Cartel is dead. I don't care if I ever step foot in Boston again. I'm over the New England Cartel. I'm over all of them. Fading them to the grave.
I like Boston. I do not endorse his words. Let me stop.
Oh my God! How about you, Alex? Anything you want to say? Do you want to disavow me? There you go. Take the
Yeah, I also would like to disavow. Not everything he says is endorsed by the entirety of the PPP podcast. I'm in Boston far too much to be saying things of that nature.
Dan, you took Rob Font. What do you have to say?
Yeah, he didn't look all that great. I'm with you as far as just being over disrespecting Aldo. I mean, he's just I'm never right on Aldo. I give up on betting Aldo. I'm just giving respect from here on out, and that's all I can say about Aldo. From there, someone else can place their bets on him. Me, I'm just going to enjoy the work of a legend and kick back and just enjoy, man.
Are you also with me in disrespecting Tyson Chartier and the New England Cartel?
I definitely disrespect Boston. I think it's a shitty city, and they're all snobs, and it's very overrated.
Okay, we agree there. Yeah, I agree. It's not even in the top 3 as far as big metropolitan cities go. Not even in the top 3. If they didn't have sports, they'd be literally nothing. All right. Okay, moving on. Let's just Jose Aldo's a hero. He's a national hero. He's always has been. We don't really need to waste too much time talking about that. Anything you want to say, Tovaun, just about UFC Vegas 44 before we break down UFC 269, Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira?
Anything on my head? Just back on the nah, nothing that you guys haven't really touched.
Perfect. Okay, let's do it. Let's break down UFC 269. Dustin Poirier is taking on Charles Oliveira. This is for the UFC lightweight title. This is fresh parity. I mean, this is new matchups. This is good. We also have Amanda Nunes taking on Juliana Pena. That's being overlooked. That's the co-main event. Let's just take it right from the top. Let's start it off at the top. Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. I'm going to let Tovaun, he's the guest. I'm going to let him take it away first since none of us really did too great on our parlays. I mean, Alex and Dan surely aren't going to get the first take, but I only did 8 out of 13, so I'm going to give it to Tovaun. Tovaun, how do you see this fight going? It's Poirier versus Oliveira. It's 2 hammers.
Man, if I want to go with like just what the fan in me says, like I would think Poirier comes in there and just kind of runs over Oliveira by round 3. But if I sit back and I'm just like technical, stop being an idiot, think about what Oliveira is good at, and it's not just submissions. He's very precise. Like, I get it. He's not say a Conor McGregor with his hands, right? But the threat of what he can do on the ground, or just if he gets a hold of you, kind of puts him there. It makes people fear certain things. So I started thinking like, well, there is a possibility, a big possibility that I don't know. I have this weird inkling that Oliveira might submit Poirier in the first round. Now, there are some things that are going to happen, like big time. Like Poirier is going to have to get hit on the side of the head with that hook that he always gets hit with for some odd freaking reason. But it's a hard one to pick. I say if it goes past the 3rd round, I think Poirier is going to just ultimately, take the fight. But if it ends early, it's either Charlie Oliveira by submission, or unless Poirier chins him, which he can do, like he really can do. And the big difference between Poirier and, say, a Michael Chandler is I don't care how much time you got left on that clock. I don't care if it's 2 seconds left. If Poirier smells blood, that's it. You're done. So I'm going to go with what I say is safe with Poirier winning, say by round 3. But I would not be surprised if Oliveira either locked up a choke, because no, I just wouldn't be surprised if Oliveira locked up a choke early. That's how I feel.
Okay, fair enough. We're going to go clockwise around this square, guys. So Alex, you'll be next. I'm going to take it from here. My pick is Charles Oliveira. I think that if you just look at the technical aspect, like Tovaun said, I think Oliveira beats him everywhere. I think he's got better wrestling. He's better on the ground. He's sharper with the strikes. He leaves himself there to be hit, but so does Dustin. So it's equal in that respect. I mean, if you look at the Chandler versus Oliveira fight, obviously it didn't go his way in the first round, but Chandler is a man on a mission. I mean, look what he did to Gaethje. Gaethje never goes to decision. I mean, he was in there. He was winning that fight for a large majority of the time. I don't think Chandler, is diminished at all by these losses. I think he's still one of the hungriest dogs in the division. So I'm not worried about him overcoming adversity. At the end of the day, everybody was saying in that fight he wasn't going to be able to overcome adversity. He showed he can. So I think Poirier is an easier fight than Oliveira's had in a while, because Poirier is coming off the Conor McGregor Super Bowl, baby. He's got Super Bowl hangover. He's a multi-millionaire. He's got this charity that involves children. He's running with his wife. He's pretty much Bill and Hillary Clinton at this point of Louisiana. They're basically just like, who knows what's going on with that charity? I mean, how much time does this guy have to be paying attention to what's going on? I mean, who even knows? So point is, Dustin Poirier is a rich guy now. He's got rich guy problems. It's hard to get out of bed when you're sleeping in silk sheets. Not saying he's not still training hard in his mind. I think he thinks he's training hard, but there's hungrier guys out there. Charles Oliveira never left the farm, never left the favela, baby, and he's still hungry. Got a lot to prove. So give me Oliveira, and I think it's going to be by a landslide. Alex, you're next.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Dustin Poirier here. I just think he, as much as you say he got that payday from Conor McGregor, he didn't really come in with that Super Bowl hangover after the second one. After the second one, he kind of looked better, if you ask me. Or the third one. The third one, you know what I mean.
No, he hasn't fought since the third McGregor fight.
But that was fairly recently, no? Like 8 months ago?
And let me also tell you this. He didn't get pay-per-view points in the first McGregor fight. He got pay-per-view points in the second McGregor fight. He had to knock McGregor out in the first fight to get pay-per-view points. He said this on a podcast.
Damn.
That's true. That was in the contract. He said that on Theo Vaughn's podcast.
Fair enough. Don't care. Still taking Dustin Poirier. I think that he's a dog. I think that you got to hit him with a shovel to get him out of there. I think he goes out there and he probably out-pressures Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is very slight of frame. I think Dustin's going to be able to stay off the ground with him, good old-fashioned American wrestling, and probably knock him out.
Okay, it's interesting you say that, because he out-wrestled Tony Ferguson, who's a much better wrestler than Poirier, and actually wrestled at a collegiate level, whereas Poirier never even wrestled in high school. But okay.
Tovaun, I see. Oh, here we go. Tovaun, I see you chomping at the bit there. I'll give you a little point there. What you got?
So here's the big thing about him out-wrestling Tony Ferguson. Can we just all be honest here and just tell the truth when I say Tony Ferguson has never been strong, period. Like he's not a powerful man, like maybe with his fists, but as far as physical strength, no, not the case. He has big hands. He can grab your wrists. He can control your wrists. But as far as physical strength, no, that was really the problem in the Oliveira fight. Like, granted, like Oliveira is just better than him on the ground, period. But like, that's what I saw outside of just straight up technique. There was nothing he could do. It was like Oliveira was playing with either an old man or a baby. So I'm like, I know when someone's just getting strong when I see it. Like it's hard to use the word like that. But
that's fair, but also
this is the truth.
Tony Ferguson also has never had a steroid body, and I'm not saying Oliveira has a steroid body, but I mean, he's got a youthful and athletic body that seems to be enhanced by something, and I don't know what it is.
Well, the hood. Let me stop.
Fair enough. The farm. Hey,
he got that Javante Davis.
Dan,
I'm gonna split this one down the middle. I'm gonna take Dustin Poirier. I just think that
you're not. You're leaving me on an island by myself. You're ganging up on me.
Oh well, Tovaun kind of sided with.
It's just like the Tyson Poirier conversation.
You kind of sided with Oliveira. I'm gonna go with Poirier. I mean, if we're talking about strength, Poirier is a strong 55er, man. And when we talk about Oliveira, this is a guy who really relies on finishes for the most part. And Poirier is, if anything, he's durable. He's hard to submit. It's damn near impossible to knock out. So I feel like in a 5-round fight, and yeah, he's might be coming off the McGregor hangover, but he still wants that gold. That's enough motivation for him. I feel like and legitimate gold, right? Like not an interim thing or anything like that. He wants to be the pound for pound 155 champ. I feel like the motivation's there. I feel like stylistically it's there. I don't see him getting ragdolled on the ground. I feel like he's got the IQ to know that, hey, I can't be grappling with this guy. If anything, I can push him up against the fence or something like that, get in the clinch. But grappling's not going to be there for him. But I don't think that's a problem either. I think he can get himself out of hairy situations on the ground. And I think the striking will be there. There might be some moments where, Oliveira is very technical, but at the end of the day, man, I think this is Poirier's night. Really do.
Well, he's a favorite, minus 165, so I'm going with the dog. And I don't know. I don't know what reason he has to want to be the champ, right? Like, you're the guy that beat Conor McGregor twice. Why do you need the belt? You are probably going to be set up as far as and they have a little interim belt. Maybe that's just the way they do the icons actually on Tapology. Never mind. Sorry. Okay, so Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. I'm fading Amanda Nunes in every one of her fights if she's going to keep coming in here as a huge favorite. Plus 55, underdog, Pena. I'm auto betting Juliana Pena. I could say all the great things about Amanda Nunes. I'm not. So I'll skip. I'll defer to Alex. Go ahead. What do you got to say about this one?
Yeah, how big of a favorite is she? Minus
800, and her challenger is plus 550. I'm going with Juliana Pena by decision, plus 550. I'm going to look up what plus by decision is.
Plus 550. Oh, these, I'm going with the boring pick here. I obviously got to go with Amanda Nunes. I need a get right game. I had a lot of shots last time, I guess, and none of them panned out. So, and we forgot Brendan Allen. Did I not predict exactly what would happen to him? I said if he loses, he's going to get drawn into a gunfight and slept. And that's exactly what happened. Nothing else. It seemed like he was dominating the entire fight until that very moment. But what do I know?
No, yeah, I was sitting next to you watching that one. I was like, this is how I predicted it would go the opposite way. I thought he would do exactly this. I thought he would, get a little bit too cocksure and end up on his back, because Chris Curtis, you can't blink with him. He's gonna be there the whole fight, and you took Allen too. Yeah, I took Curtis. I took Chris Curtis. Remember that. Okay.
I remember. I'm so done with that card. I'm so done with that card. I can't believe we brought that card back into this one. I'm gonna go with Amanda Nunes. The pick is Amanda Nunes. The bet is non-existent. To have minus 900, I'm not that greedy. I'm not gonna throw that in there. Anything can happen. I like the intensity that Juliana Pena is coming in this fight. At the end of the day, though, it's hard for me to pick against Amanda Nunes. She's just, she crosses all the boxes here. So give me Amanda Nunes, but the bet, be very wary. Stay away.
All right, your turn. Anything you want to say?
I'm staying completely away from this fight. I just don't see. If you want to take the risk, go ahead and bet Pena. But I'm not. I'm just not. I don't see where she is better anywhere unless we have like some strange Buster Douglas night. Or Amanda comes in and tells nobody that her liver is failing and her foot hurts and she just got hit by a truck and she still made the walk. I don't see it. It's like when we look at Juliana Pena, it's like we know what she's good at, but she gets beat at what she's good at. Now, granted, the people who beat her at what she's good at, Shevchenko, she's Shevchenko. So it's like she's good, but she's not on the level of like these women that are just going to stand the test of time. She's not. So unless she fights the perfect fight and for some odd reason Amanda forgets how to punch, I'm going with Amanda.
Beautiful, beautiful. Why don't you, since that was kind of a boring one, why don't you take us through this next one? You can start it off. Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Geoff Neal. Geoff Neal coming off back-to-back losses, and I believe Ponzinibbio is as well. No, he's coming off an actually that very impressive win against Miguel Baeza after getting knocked out by Jingliang Li. And before that, everybody, he was able to beat a one Neil Magny.
Neil Magny matters.
I wasn't ready for that clip. Okay. How tall is Ponzinibbio?
I will tell you, Ponzinibbio comes in at 6 foot even, 73-inch
Okay.
reach.
6 foot, 73-inch reach. All right. It isn't a crazy size difference.
35 years old. And Geoff Neal, yes, he's coming in 5'11", 75-inch reach, 31. So a little bit younger. Geoff Neal coming out of Fortis MMA.
See,
Who also, by the way, lost his last fight to a one Neil Magny.
Neil Magny matters.
yeah. Man, funny thing that you're doing that, because one of the last times I sat in a bar and was like, man, listen, Neil Magny is good. I was talking a whole bunch of shit, and then he was fighting Dos Anjos that night, and you know how fast that went south. But with this fight, I kind of want to say like Ponzinibbio might be chinny, but I think he just had a bad night against Li Jingliang, right? That's the last guy to knock him out, yeah.
Yes, and then I believe he went on a little bit of an injury hiatus. So
yeah. Well, he was on an injury hiatus for a long time.
Yeah, because
but
actually it was 6. It was actually before that. It was after the Neil Magny fight. He was out from 2018 until the Jingli Liang fight. And I faded him in the Ji Liang fight because he was doing commentary. He was on the desk. He was admittedly coming off of an injury. He loses. I felt really smart then. I wanted to fade him again against Biesa because Biesa is such a stud. I mean, and he goes in there and wins a unanimous decision rightfully. So I think he just needed that get right fight against Ji Liang, and he's back to form. So now it really just comes down to who's the better fighter. Is it Neil or is it Ponzinibbio?
Ponzinibbio.
Yeah, I would
just
agree.
from a technical standpoint, yes, Ponzinibbio. Like Geoff Neal is he's good, but there is a direct line on how to beat him, right? If you can keep moving, because he fought Wonderboy, yeah?
Yeah.
If you can keep moving, that's number one. If you can pressure with him, he deals with pressure well. But I just feel like if you can keep yourself on the gas in whatever aspect for the entirety of a fight, you can beat Geoff Neal. Ponzinibbio is just better everywhere else. So unless he goes out there and does this, I don't see Geoff Neal winning. I don't see it. He could pull it off. Let's say he goes out and in the first round he gets that respect, slams him with one of those hands of steel, and for like the rest of the night, Ponzinibbio is just compromised. Let's say that happens. I could see him winning, but skill on skill, just going forward, Santiago.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, totally agree. Geoff Neal has never been the most impressive fighter to me. He's coming off an arrest, by the way. I don't know how much psychologically that's going to play into this fight, but
in training camp.
Yeah, in training camp with less than 2 weeks until the fight. I'm surprised this fight is still going on. But to Mr. Anthony's point, as far as pressuring someone, Santiago Ponzinibbio showed that he could pressure with the best of them, just staying within the pocket with Miguel Baeza, who's a much more technical striker than Geoff Neal. That fight, to me, just shows you everything that you need to know about this fight coming up. Ponzinibbio got the rust off with the Li Jingliang fight, coming off that very impressive Miguel Baeza fight. I think that was a really good litmus test for Geoff Neal here, and Ponzi's got all the tools to get this thing done. And at minus 110, I think it's a real bargain and a steal. So give me Ponzinibbio.
Yeah, really interesting because I've been on the wrong side of both these guys. I mentioned my history with Ponzinibbio and Geoff Neal. I wanted him to take Wonderboy out. I really thought that was his fight to win, or his fight to lose, as the expression goes. But I was all over him there, and he disappointed. Again with Neil Magny. I think I had Neil Magny in that one. I'm pretty sure, coming off the Wonderboy loss. But yeah, I feel like they set him up for success with the Wonderboy fight. He didn't achieve it. Santiago, meanwhile, Gilbert Burns comes up and whoops up on Wonderboy. So it's like Wonderboy's there to be beaten. The blueprint has been written on how to beat Wonderboy several times over in several different ways. Ponzinibbio, what he's proven, which Geoff Neal has failed to prove this week or this month, whenever this arrest has been made. I'm looking at Tapology, and the first comment is Geoff Neal fighting? I thought he got arrested. So you're definitely right about that, Dan. I think it was a DUI too.
Got a Dewey.
Yeah, so he's been drinking, right? Ponzinibbio, a guy who's old, 35, not too old, understands not to be drinking and stuff, and needs to, is rehabbing all these injuries, has professional work at the commentary desk. Now I'm using the reason I wanted to bet against him to bet for him, because I'm saying, he's a professional. And he showed me in his last fight that he can hang with young studs. I think Baeza smokes Geoff Neal. So yeah, give me Ponzinibbio. The only thing is, like Tovaun said, whereas Geoff Neal couldn't knock out Wonderboy because Wonderboy has that nice like Roddy Philly shell mix where he gets in and out and keeps him at range a lot. I feel like Ponzinibbio has more of that kind of like capoeira, like Muay Thai kind of like forward and boxy style where his head is going to be there to get hit as opposed to the more, bladed stance that Wonderboy has. So could he get caught and knocked out? Of course. Could Geoff Neal take that DUI and all that anger and frustration from that situation and put it into this fight? Of course, this isn't the nice guy business, guys. This is the fight business. Some of these guys like John Jones, they're coming out of partying and going into there the next weekend and doing just fine. You know what I mean? Fighting is fighting. So I'm gonna go with Ponzinibbio, but let's see the weigh-ins. All right, next up, Alex.
I still have a win.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can do this one and then take us through the next one.
Word, yeah. Okay. I'm going to take Geoff Neal here. I just think he's going to be too much. Like Luke said, Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to be there to get hit, and Geoff Neal isn't a guy you want to get hit by. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he's built to beat a guy like Geoff Neal, somebody who's swinging for his head like crazy. Like, that is a stylistic matchup that doesn't favor him. And Neil Magny's the man. Yeah, Santiago Ponzinibbio knocked him out, but I think that was Neil Magny's first ever 5-round fight, if I'm not mistaken. And he gassed out in the 4th round. He was kind of dominating the first 3, if I remember correctly. I'm going with Geoff Neal here. Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to be there to get hit, and you don't want to get hit by Geoff Neal. Hands of steel, baby.
Very interesting. It's a pick'em fight, so near even odds on that one. Alex, take us through the next one. Kai Kara-France versus Cody Garbrandt. Extremely interesting matchup.
Yeah, I'm taking Kai Kara-France all day here. Cody Garbrandt, I think he's probably going to struggle to make that weight, and 125 is low. Didn't he? Yeah, he was 135. So I think Kai Kara-France, this is his natural weight. He's going to go in there. He's going to piece him up. All the boys are reunited back in America, having a great time. Kai Kara-France is going to do his thing.
All right. Dan, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think there's 2 really big factors for this fight. Number 1 is the weight cut, as Alex alluded to. I don't care how big or small you are. 125 is hard to cut down to. So that gives me a little bit of cause to pause. The second thing is going to be the feinting of Kai Kara-France and that city kickboxing style. I think it's going to give Cody Garbrandt a lot of fits. We know he gets frustrated in there. He has a tendency to just overload on some right hands that puts him in bad positions. I think the feints are going to draw that out of him. And I think that Kai Kara-France, being the veteran of the flyweight division, is going to eke this one out. It's going to be a tough one. I think, the Garbrandt power, I think, will probably translate pretty well to 125. But, man, I see all these factors lining up for Kai Kara-France. So give me the underdog on this one. I believe he's the underdog at 1 plus 135, something like that.
Interesting. Yeah, super interesting matchup. How do you see this one going, Tovaun?
I really, 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 really love Cody Garbrandt, but as long as you can avoid a hook cross, you can beat him. So him having to deal with that weight, granted, like at 135, he wasn't some huge dude. So I think he's just going to go through it like everyone else when it comes down to making 125. But it's his first time there, and it's like you look at his last string of fights, with the exception of the Asuncao fight, it's like, do you really want to be dropping that weight and then dealing with somebody who's probably faster than you? I don't know. I just don't want to see him get Dillashawed. I'm not saying Kara-France is like Henry Cejudo, but yeah, I'm going with Kara-France. I'll just keep it short.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep this one from being Triple P certified. I'm going to go with Cody Garbrandt. And you guys know I love fading Cody Garbrandt. People call him Cody No Chin. But one thing Cody does have is American wrestling. And if he wants to put this fight on the ground, he will in this fight. And I think that getting pieced up by Font with 1,000 jabs last time taught him a lot. I think he's going to go back there in Jersey with his head coach, Mark Henry, now. And he's going to game plan with him. He's going to cross game plan with the guys back at Alpha Male who just took Clay Guida to a ton of success. Meanwhile, Kai Kara-France is coming out of New Zealand area, right, where he has to run and duck and hide to get training. yeah, he's back in town with Dan Hooker having fun for this week, but let's look at the results of these guys lately. Dan Hooker got destroyed in his last fight. Brad Riddell just got destroyed. Now I think Kai France is going to be coming in, and are the vibes going to be right? I don't know, but one thing I wonder is, was his training right? I don't think it was. Brad Riddell talked about getting almost arrested for trying to train. I saw videos of Kai France doing highway sprints. He was pulled over on the side of the highway doing highway sprints on his Instagram. So yeah, that's good that he's motivated to get the work in. Cody Garbrandt's in New Jersey, training with people from Renzo Gracie, training with people from Team Almeida, training like with hammers. You know what I'm saying? With Zabit, Magomed Sherry, you know what I mean? Sharipov. So yeah,
that guy's still a fighter.
I don't know. I'm just saying, Cody Garbrandt is in the mix, right? So I think this is a get right moment for Cody. I think he puts him on his butt, tires him out, maybe even secures like a submission, or a knockout. If Royval can submit this guy, Garbrandt can submit this guy. So
All right,
I know that was a chaotic fight, but that's my pick, Cody Garbrandt as a heavy favorite, minus 175. All right, next Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley taking on Julian Paiva. Let's see what ridiculous odds we have here. Sugar Sean minus 310. All right, that's fair. But Paiva coming off 3-fight win streak. Last in there with Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips is no joke. Before that, beat Zalga Zumagulov, who will not make it easy for you. Before that, beat Mark of the Roses. Before that, back-to-back losses against Rogerio Bontorin and Kai France. Now, Sean O'Malley, obviously, we all know his story, and we know the caliber of opponent he's been facing. We know what he's able to do to the caliber of opponent he's presented with when presented, whether it be Eddie Wineland, Quinones, or Chris Montino. He will get those guys out of there in spectacular fashion. But when we've seen him up against a contender in Marlon Vera, questionable things happen. So he gets beat. I'm not a Sean O'Malley truther, but some people say he didn't get beat that night. I don't know. That's left to be interpreted. But what do you guys think about this one? Tovaun, you want to take us through it? What's your hot take on Sugar Sean? You can check if you need to look at that topology. You can check.
There's always going to be that night, but and I hate doing this where I'm just like a favorite heavy dude. But yeah, I don't know. I think Sean O'Malley is going to win. I'll just start off with that. And I believe it's because of how tall is Paiva? 5'8". Okay, that's not that much of a height difference. But I mean, distance management and everything like that, he's good. He can keep that pace up for a good amount of time too. And like in the event that this goes to the ground, he's no slouch. So if I want to go skill for skill, I understand the odds. I just understand the odds. I don't really like breaking down O'Malley fight. Like until he fights somebody where it's like, oh God, this dude might destroy O'Malley. That's when I'll sit and be like, okay, well, here's his path to victory. Da 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 da. But fights like this, it's like, okay, Paiva he's good. He's good. But is he going to make me question Sean O'Malley right now? No.
Yeah, and the thing is, Paiva is 3 inches shorter and has got a 3-inch reach disadvantage, just to let you guys know. Just because they look nice in their topology picture, like, oh, two athletic guys. But Paiva is going to come in there, and he's going to look like he's separated by a weight class.
Yeah, he's going to get kicked everywhere.
Alex, take us through it. Dan, take us through it. One of you. You're muted, Alex. You're muted.
Sorry. A little dog barking over here.
Not the little doggy Danny Bittman.
Not the little doggy. And it's definitely not Julian Paiva. I'm going with Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's going to get it done by all means. I don't think Julian's going to be able to get him to the ground, and that might be the only path to victory. Sugar Sean's going to piece him up on the feet, probably knock him out. That fight against Kyler Phillips wasn't a dub for him. That was crazy judging. Kyler Phillips dominated that fight, and this is going to be the Sugar Show continuing.
All right, and I think it's by knockout because we all know Sugar Sean wants the highlight reel finish all the time. He's going to be hunting for it the whole time. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm at a stage that is a little bit higher than these guys as far as my confidence in Julian Paiva and my respect for him, but I'm still going to go with Sean O'Malley. But I do think it's a very interesting fight. I think it's definitely the best opponent that he's faced besides Marlon Vera, but that's kind of a, we'll put that over there fight. We got to run that one back. But Julian Paiva, man, I was very impressed with the Kyler Phillips fights. Just his ability to hang in there. He was getting dominated for a while, but he came back and maybe it was maybe he didn't deserve to win, but he made it close. He made it close enough for the judges to declare him the winner. So I don't know, man. I think the ground game could absolutely be in play. I mean, this is a guy who trains a team alpha male. The jiu-jitsu's there as well. So if it gets to the mat, man, this can get real interesting real fast. So minus 310 is a hefty price tag for me to pay. I'm not looking to pay whatsoever, but for the official pick, yeah, for sure. I'll go with Sean O'Malley and his 3-inch reach advantage and his great boxing and his tremendous jab and combinations and all that and the kicks. But I'm not super confident, I'll tell you that.
Saw Sugar Sean O'Malley on the Barstool Sportsbook Network. I saw him getting interviewed, playing it cool, keeping it legit over there on the network.
And get the Portnoy promotional pricing, Triple P.
You're taking everything I work for, mother. I'm gonna fight your.
Shout out to the Barstool Sportsbook Network. All right, we got another fight to break down, guys. Who's got it up in front of them? We can take it right away. Josh Emmett, the return of Josh Emmett versus Dan 50K Ige. Dan Ige, another guy that I was very high on going into the Chan Sung Jung fight. I thought that was his coming out night. He ended up losing, dropping it, much like Rob Font. He's in the same boat as Rob Font with me right now. Meanwhile, Emmett never disappoints. I mean, that one slip, he slipped on a banana peel against Jeremy Stevens. Hate slip on a banana peel against Jeremy Stevens. Boy, was that a devastating night. That still haunts my dreams. It was 2018. I was not starting this podcast and I was not betting on the fights. I watched a bunch of Josh Emmett, videos about how his family was going to be there and he was really excited about this. He was his main event. And then Jeremy Stevens broke his face, literally. Shane Burgos, though, he beats up Shane Burgos. He beats up Mirsad Bektik. He beats up Michael Johnson. He rebounds, right? Now we're in 2021. Dan Ige. How do you see this one going? Guys, I'm rocking with Josh Emmett. I'm just going to let you guys know. I'm rocking with Josh Emmett. I'm going to let my pick go right now. I'm just going to check the odds, then you guys can break it down. But Josh Emmett's coming in minus 220. That's how I see it. I think he's more skilled just about everywhere. Dan Ige is 6 years younger. That gives me cause to pause. But Josh Emmett, I think, is a – speaking of Team Alpha Male, right? Is that where he trains? No, Stream Couture. Nope. Team
Josh
Alpha
Emmett is Alpha Male.
Yeah, Sacramento. Stream Couture is Ige.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Josh Emmett here. I think he gets it done. He's got more tools in the toolbox. He can take him down if he wants, and he can also bang. So this might actually be a very, very fun fight to watch. But it's going to be risky because if these guys bang, somebody might go out for sure. But I think Josh Emmett's going to win this one.
Ooh. This is fight of the night written all over it, man. Danny Ige does not get knocked out, and that's Josh Emmett's favorite way of winning a fight. If I'm Dan Ige, I'm putting the pedal to the metal the whole fight, trusting my chin, trying to win on volume, trying to win on points because, man, the power is going to be there for Emmett, but I don't think he's an easy knockout either. For Dan Ige and the challenge that he has going up against him. I'm going to ride with Ige. I'm banking on the fact that he's going to come off of this loss looking better. But man, it is tough. I'll tell you that. But I think it's going to be off of the volume, off of points. Give me Dan Ige by decision.
Wow. Man, yeah, you're right. Not only does he not get knocked out, he has not gotten finished in his professional career.
Mm-hmm.
Like with any loss, it's split decision, unanimous decision. Yeah. I'm thinking Josh Emmett overhand right, round 2, maybe about 1:30 in. That is just what I believe.
Everybody's chin has to be cracked eventually, but I will point out Dan Ige, Hawaiian. So.
Oh, hey, come on, man. But
Hawaiians do not get knocked out. Max Holloway has never been knocked down in the UFC.
Hey, that is absolutely true. But he has darn sure had his bell rung, though.
Even BJ Penn, up until the very, very end, had never been knocked down.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And it's funny that
they had to let that guy at that strip club parking lot hit him in the face clean to even be knocked down then. So, I mean, He had to let him do
Oh
that.
my God!
Sorry, what
in
were you
his
saying?
worst, in his worst hour.
DJ Penn for governor. Hey, I'm saying
my
that
God.
in the DJ Penn for governor. I do believe that.
You're insane. No, you mentioned like when Josh Emmett was there and he was supposed to have his family and everyone there, and then he gets knocked out by Jeremy Stevens. Like when things like that occur, I get so sad because it reminds me of the time Glover invited Mike Tyson and told him he was his favorite boxer, and then tried to go out there against Rumble, and you like saw how he was doing this, and then got uppercutted to the moon.
Oh my God!
I was like, yeah, don't invite your heroes to your job.
Okay, so let's go next to the next one. You're taking Emmett. That's 3 us for Everett. We have not encountered a Triple P certified pick except for. No, sorry, we haven't encountered a Triple P certified pick yet, except for O'Malley, I guess. Yeah, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Great. Wonderful. That's never come back to bite us in the ass, ever. Oh, wait. All right. Marlon Vera, who has the worst first-round history in all of MMA, goes out there and finishes Sugar Sean in the first round after we Triple P certified him, I think. So, did one of you – no, Alex took Vera, actually, that night. Alex took Marlon Vera, I believe. All right, anyway. Pedro Munoz taking on Dominic Cruz. This is a fight that Dominic Cruz, handpicked, asked for. O'Malley was calling him out. Dominic Cruz could have been up there on the card with O'Malley instead of Paiva. Instead, he's in the prelims with Munoz because he wanted to be there, because Dominic Cruz is ahead of all of us, guys. He's playing 7D chess, and he's smarter than you, and he knows that. And you could probably learn a lot from Dominic Cruz, and he's just ahead of the game, and his ego is past the fact he doesn't need to fight on main event cards. He gets paid the same. Why does it matter? Anyway, Dominic Cruz is smart. Pedro Munoz is dumb. He lost to Jose Aldo, even though in hindsight that looks a lot better now. That looks a lot better. That loss to Aldo, I kind of forgive Munoz for. And before that, he looked great against Jimmy Rivera. But then he dropped one to Edgar. That one doesn't look good in hindsight as much as the Aldo one does. So I'm taking the Dominator. Dominic Cruz coming off that win against Casey Kenny. Very impressive split decision. Doesn't matter. I'm taking Dominic Cruz. He picked this fight. They've trained together. They know each other. He knows how to beat this guy. He's smarter than him. He's already won. Dominic Cruz, you guys don't get it. Dominic Cruz has already won.
Yeah, Dominic Cruz, one of the greatest to ever do it. He's going to go out there and get it done. I don't care how old he is. Pedro Munoz loses all the time. And he loses the old guys, as Luke said, Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar. So those are old guys right there. Dominic Cruz isn't as old as those guys mentally.
Man, I hate to do it, but 3 in a row, I'm going to actually have to agree as well. Dominic Cruz, if you put this fight in front of me like 3 or 4 months ago, I would say that Pedro Munoz destroys him. But Dominic Cruz showed me that he's got some miles left after that Casey Kenny fight. Really instilled a lot more confidence in me. In my mind's eye, the way I see this one playing out, Pedro Munoz does what he does. He's going to throw a bunch of windmills, which Dominic Cruz is going to see a mile away. He's going to outpoint him. I don't think there's any chance that he gets hit or clipped by Munoz's shots. I'm not going to say he's sloppy, but he's certainly not technical. So give me Dominic Cruz.
I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm with Dominic Cruz. I think the easiest way to lose against Pedro Munoz is the exact opposite of what Dominic Cruz does. Right. Good footwork and just not standing in front of him and just getting into a firefight. Pedro, he struggles with that. Like, think about who he's knocked out. Like, Cody Garbrandt stands in front of you. Like, so it's no. Dominic Cruz all day. I call decision. If he shoots, of which he won't, he's dumb. But yeah, decision. Dominic Cruz.
Okay. Let's get it on. What do we got next, guys? We got Augusta Sakai taking on Tai Tuivasa. Ooh, interesting fight. What do you think, Tovaun? You want to take us through this one? Or does the Shoey master himself want to take us through this one, Alex? What do you think? You're Mr. Shoey. Why don't you start this one? We'll give Tovaun the next one.
Well, I'll tell you
like doing Shoeys.
Well, I'll tell you what, I went through a little bit of a hiatus from Shoeys. And my mom told me she never wants to see me do them again. My girlfriend told me she never wants to see me do them again.
Is it because of the drinking out of the shoe, or is it because of the other part?
It's mostly because of the other part. And I mean, listen.
When you mean when you let the strangers whose shoe you borrow spit into their shoe during a pandemic, and then you drink the spit out of the shoe and you don't know the person.
Listen, and I've had a lot of loved ones come up to me. They're worried about me. They tell me, I can't be drinking spit out of shoes. I can't be drinking out of other people's shoes. But
Do they know the alcohol sanitizes it though?
They don't understand that for one. And
no,
they don't understand.
That spit rests on top like Noah's Ark on the water. That does not get sanitized.
And listen,
here's the froth.
And listen. I retired. I did retire from Shoeys, but guess what, baby? Guess what?
What?
I am fully vaccinated and I am back and better than ever. The only reason I got vaccinated is so I could have people spit into shoes and have me drink from it. And I cannot wait to ensue in the chaos. I'm actually going to be away in the mountains, snowboarding, doing very radical stuff this weekend. So I will only have a few shoes to choose from. But you better believe I will be drinking out of a shoe because Bam Bam is going to get the knockout. What say you, Daniel Bittman?
Ooh, tough to follow up that one. I'm going to go with Augusto Sakai, and I hate to do it. Tai Tuivasa, big old fan favorite, myself included. Love him coming out to Britney. No, Spice Girls, sorry. It comes out to the Spice Girls. I love the Shoey, Alex, whatever. I'm just going to leave it there. But I just think Sakai is just a little bit more technical. And just the fact that I want to pick Tuivasa so bad kind of informs me that I should pick Sakai. It's kind of like that anti-gut feeling where like you know that you should go against your gut or like what you really want to hear. Sakai, I think the jab will be there. Sakai by decision, I think you probably should get a good juicy bet there, being that it's heavyweights and all. But I do see this going the distance, so give me a Ghost to Sakai.
I agree. I definitely agree. Sakai by decision. I really, really like Tuivasa. Like you said, walking out to the Spice Girls. First of all, walking out to the Spice Girls, fist bumping half the arena, and then knocking out Greg Hardy was probably one of the illest things of all time. But just from a technical standpoint, I think Sakai will utilize his reach. He'll move around. Tai Tuivasa has definitely, gotten better, especially as far as cardio is concerned. But I think he needs a knockout. Here. So I'm gonna go with this safe bet to me.
Okay. And you guys all said a lot of great points. The thing that resonated to me was Dan, and you said you like his Spice Girl song. I love when he went out to My Heart Goes On by Celine Dion. That was my favorite one. And I love, like you guys said, love Tai Tuivasa. If you follow his Instagram, he's not doing the best. He's between Australia's restrictions letting him in and out of the country, between the restrictions themselves, he's like always posting pictures of people protesting and trying to rise up and stuff in Australia and encouraging the boys to like rise up and all this stuff. So he's dealing with a lot of stress. He's away from his family. When he's here in America, he's not having a good go of it. And this is going to be one of his only good nights of the year for him, I think. I think he's just going out there and he's saying, tonight of all nights is going to go the way I want it to go. And the main point I want to make is nothing Augusto Sakai is going to give him is going to knock him out. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No.
So he's going to walk through everything, and he's going to knock the guy out, and he's going to do a shoey, and it's going to get the people going. So give me Tai Tuivasa, Alex. I'm riding with you, and I want you to do the shoey out of, I was going to say a snowboarding boot, but maybe that would ruin it.
You know what? It might just have to be done.
Maybe you put a garbage bag in an interior garbage bag liner in the snowboard boot, but not one that's scented.
No.
Won't do one that's scented because then you'll drink.
You'll die.
Why even do it then?
All right, true. Do it. All right, do it out of your girlfriend's shoe.
No. Her boots are more expensive than mine, so I'm definitely gonna do it out of mine. But it'll be experimental science. We'll see if anything happens to the snowboarding boot. It might be a little damp the next day. I might get a little bit of trench foot with my foot in a wet boot the next day. But, it is what it is. Sacrifices have to be made. And
listen, I think Ty would be happy that you're doing the shoey, but the other part, the reason that you're able to do the shoey, I think that he'd probably think is a little unpatriotic. And I was surprised because knowing this podcast audience, I was thinking that they might find you a little unpatriotic too. However, you managed to dodge the heel turn and go into a heroic comeback into the shoey being able to do the Shoey. So, all right, I'll give it to you on this one.
And I mean,
I'll let the people decide in the comments. That will eventually be taken down by YouTube, but I will let the people decide in the comments what they think of your decision.
I was flagged on Instagram for the Shoey videos. I think they knew. Now, right before I will take out my card, I will block all the important information. I will let everybody know that it is a safe Shoey.
Okay, good. All right, next we got Bruno Silva taking on Jordan Wright. Jordan the Beverly Hills Ninja Wright. I'll just do the stats and you guys can break this down. 32 years old, Bruno Silva against 30-year-old Jordan Wright. Middleweight division fight. Jordan Wright's going to have a significant reach and height advantage over him. And, Bruno Silva, he's coming off of a win against Andrew Sanchez. Before that, he beat Wellington Turman. And before that, a long layoff since 2018. But he's since shown, hey, I rebounded off that long layoff in 2 fights. Jordan Wright, since getting knocked out by Mr. Buckley, has rebounded with a great knockout against Jamie Pickett. And supposed to be in there against the Cuban Missile Crisis. Remember, guys, we were all betting against him against the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now he's in there with Bruno Silva. Not really sure how I feel about this one. What do you think, Tovaun Anthony?
Wait, is this like short notice or like?
Well, I think originally this fight. Let me see.
All right, it doesn't matter. I have reserves about Jordan Wright, only because when you look at who he's fought, look, the man's got a really nice record, right? And then when he fought Joaquin, I'm like, oh, so you're a tall guy that just you have a problem with small dudes with long arms. Okay. But then he goes out there and beats Jamie Pickett, who's also, got some power. And I don't know what to expect out of this man. I need to see him. I need to see him fight a couple of more times before I'm like, yeah, I am thoroughly convinced this guy's going to win. I don't think so. I'm going with Bruno Silva. I'm just going to throw it up.
That's exactly how I feel about it. It's in terms of betting, I don't know what to expect. I need to gather more data on Jordan Wright. He definitely looked great in his last outing, and a lot of people wanted to fade him. Bruno Silva, 2 very impressive wins. I was all over El Dirte, Andrew Sanchez. So to me, I want to pick Bruno Silva, but the line is out of control. It's minus 330 Bruno Silva and minus 370 Bruno Silva plus 290 Jordan Wright. I feel like
I don't think that should be the case. I don't think that should be the case, but
it's a no bet for me, but I'll go with Silva just because I think that his last 2 wins are more impressive and we have more data on him, and I think he's kind of a hammer. I don't see him getting knocked out by the Beverly Hills Ninja, the Karate Boy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I also think Bruno Silva is going to get it done. I'm just not impressed by the Beverly Hills Ninja. I think Bruno Silva is just going to be too much for him. They're both very long. This is going to be a very interesting matchup, but I'm going with Bruno Silva. He's just got more experience.
All right, Danny Betman.
Yeah, the only thing I hate more than this line is dudes doing karate in the UFC. Okay? If you're not Stephen Wonderboy Thompson or Lyoto Machida, get your karate BS out of my UFC octagon. You're not going to get the win. So, yeah, I don't even know that it's a no bet for me. I'm pretty confident with this bet. I'll be greedy. Give me that minus 350. Juice up my parlays a little bit. Supremely confident in this pick. Jordan Wright. Mr. Anthony, you were a little too nice to Jordan Wright there. I think you need to redeem yourself on this next pick. Way too nice to Jordan Wright. He's just, I don't know. He's a fun little highlight machine. His kicks are cute, but he's not for me. So I'm gonna go with Silva.
Oh my God! As SpongeBob would say, karate.
He's no Lyoto Machida.
Yeah.
All right, next we got minus 140 slight favorite Andre Muniz taking on Eric, your boy Anders. Anders versus Andre. I feel like they always do this where like one guy's first name is another guy's last name. All right, Eric Anders, your boy, taking on Andre Muniz. Anders is 34, the Alabama boy. Definitely has learned a lot in his career, but how much runway does he have left? He is the 205-pounder taking on the middleweight, but Muniz is the one with the 3-inch reach advantage. 31 years old on a big win streak, huge win streak. Hasn't lost since 2016 against Azamat Mirzakhanov, actually. So, this guy, he's coming in broke Jacare's arm. Dan, everybody was on Jacare in that fight. I remember picking Muniz and telling you that Jacare is most famous for a fight where he got his arm broken and still won, and then he goes out there and breaks his arm and beats him. That was just poetic justice if I've ever seen it. Tells me I was on the right track with this guy. I think Eric Anders is really powerful. I don't think that Muniz can really like go in there and submit him. I don't know really how Muniz is going to win this one. He looked really good against Darren Stewart, so I think Anders can win. I think Anders can knock this guy out. I'm going with Eric Anders.
I'm going to go with Andre Muniz. I don't really think Eric Anders has as many tools in the toolbox. I think Andre Muniz can kind of keep it a little even on the feet, but more than likely he's going to need to get it down. He can probably get it down. It's going to be tough against somebody as thick as Eric Anders, but I think Andre Muniz might be able to do it.
Yeah, this fight is such a bummer. It was originally slated to be Dricus du Plessis versus Andre Muniz, which I was crunk about. Unfortunately, we got to throw Eric Anders in there, who it's just such a buzzkill every time I see him on a fight card. To be honest, I'm so over him. But I'm going with Muniz straight up. I think he'd absolutely submit Anders. I think Anders is going to put himself in a bad submission or a bad position at some point in this fight, and Muniz. I mean, if he's shown anything, he's shown his ability to get a submission just out of nowhere, man. So a bit of a step down going from Jacare to Eric Anders. I think Muniz just tears this guy up. So give me Muniz. And I'm going to roll after this pick because if I don't, I'm going to be JP buys. And you know how
no.
Yeah, you know how it is. So thank you all. I will see you on Friday for the After the Weigh-ins show. That's all I got.
And then that is where you will get Danny's first 5 picks of the night. Extended.
Later, Tovaun, you my bro.
Catch you later after the weigh-in show. Take care, Danny.
Have a beautiful evening.
Hey, guys, Danny had to bail, but we still got a third wheel to our tricycle here, and now we can take our sweet time breaking down these next few fights, even though they're the most boring ones of the whole card, pretty much. But either way, I'm just saying there's some good matchups in here. We got Randy Costa, we got Ryan Hall. Let's take it from the top 5 fights left. Erin Blanchfield taking on Miranda Maverick. Miranda Maverick, Michael Chandler, very high on her. He endorsed her when he was on DC, Daniel Cormier's show on YouTube. She's coming off that split decision loss to Macy Barber, though. Meanwhile, Erin Blanchfield beat Sarah Alpar, but by decision. Before that, everybody else, no UFC experience. So her only loss is a split decision to Tracy Cortez. When it comes to the odds of this fight, it is going to be Blanchfield, who's the -140 slight favorite. I see it that way too. I'm taking Erin Blanchfield.
I'm gonna go with Miranda Maverick here. She definitely won that fight against Macy Barber. I don't care what anybody tells me. She destroyed Macy Barber, and she's gonna go out there and she's gonna beat up Erin Blanchfield. She has no real experience against high caliber talent. Like Jillian Robertson would be a good fight to give her before Erin Blanchfield, or like a Liana Joja. The people that they gave Miranda Maverick before they gave her Macy Barber. Miranda Maverick's on a different level. She's going to go out there and get it done.
Yeah, Blanchfield's last fight was against somebody who was 9-5. But before that, looking at the records of her opponents, it's like they're not all that bad. But at the same time, I look at Miranda Maverick and I see someone who, like, when I think about this is a flyweight fight, yeah. When I think about that division, it's few people I look at and I'm like, you belong here. And Miranda Maverick belongs there. I do believe Miranda beat Macy Barber. Like, I kind of don't know how they scored it, the other way, unless you want to be really superficial and get political. But no, I'm going with Miranda Maverick. I think that she is the true pro, and she's going to move forward whether people want her to or not. So.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Because
also, I think I need to do a little bit more research.
Yeah, I want to see weigh-ins on this one as well, because you guys have me thinking that maybe I'm wrong, actually.
Yeah, like I just need to see more. I need to watch more of Blanchfield's fights. And if I see something in the way she moves then I could switch. But no, man, Miranda, she's I don't know. She's just proved her nickname to me. Fear the Maverick, man.
For sure. All right. Next, we got Alex Perez taking on Matthew Danger Schnell. Now, Matt Schnell, I wanted to back in his last fight against Bontarine. I had him parlayed to the tits against Bontarine. He stunk my ships. I can't forgive it. Alex Perez, meanwhile, I know he's got some high respect from everybody in the division. Last fight, yeah, he lost to the champ, Davidson Figueiredo. That was a little bit, left a lot to be desired, but I think that he can go in there. To be honest, I really think Matt Schnell can win this fight, and I think he can beat Alex Perez in a lot of areas, wrestling, striking, all that, but he just finds a way to blow it. I mean, I just can't trust him. He's a huge underdog here. I'm sure that he will upset a lot of people's parlay. I kind of actually am talking myself into betting on Matt Schnell here because he is the type of guy who's like hot and cold, comes in off a loss and looks better than ever, and then loses one that he shouldn't lose. So he might have lost himself into a spot in the rankings that he can beat a guy in Alex Perez because Alex Perez did get smoked in his title opportunity. So I don't know. This is a really tough one. What do you guys think? Tovaun, do you have any inside information on this one?
Not really. I'm kind of agreeing with you. Normally when someone has a nickname of Danger, I'm like, yeah, that guy. But yeah, no, sometimes he just finds a way to lose. He just finds a way to lose. And I mean, if you look at who he's losing against, it's Pantoja, like guys like that, where it's actually, Rob Font, Tim Elliott. Oh my gosh, he's been through the ringer. Hold up.
But that was Rob Font before Rob Font was polished. That was like Ultimate Fighter.
Before he was Rob Font.
Yeah, exactly. And even now, Rob Font is still showing areas in his game. Like he was flopping around like a fish under Jose Aldo's mount. Like Jose Aldo is still probably
he's still Jose Aldo. It's like you said in the beginning. You got to give that man his respect. He's still Jose Aldo. As much as we have this new generation of fighters coming in, right? And of course,
who are not specialists, and everybody touts how they're mixed martial artists, and they come up with like this very discipline, but they're jack of all trades.
Yeah, and then when you deal with a specialist, say a Piotr Jan, who's a master of sport and boxing, and like just the way he goes about dealing with fights, you can see how he could beat Jose Aldo. Also, how much footage do we have on Jose Aldo? Think about that. It's years, and it's like a generation of footage you have on this man. So if you go in there and you fight him and you don't beat him, it's because it's not that you're not good. It's just you're not on the level. If you go in there and beat him, you clearly had the tools and you had the game plan. So it's like I compare anybody who's trying to fight Jose Aldo to say Frankie Edgar, right? Like Frankie Edgar fought Jose twice, and you saw in both of those fights that it was just a completely different level, especially the second time. I'm like, Jose's sitting here like, you know that belt's mine. You know it's mine. Just stop. Put that leg down. You know this belt. So, but back to this fight. If I go based on hot and cold, I'll take Matt Schnell. If I go on like the history of how like guys who win some, lose some, and then win some again, I'll go with Matt Schnell. I just hope he doesn't find a way to lose.
You know, in his defense, between 2017 and 2019, he racked up a 4-fight win streak, which included, Smolka, Espinoza, and then he lost to Pantoja, beat Tyson Nam in a split decision, loses a unanimous decision to Bontarine in a fight where in a lot of the areas he was winning, right? So it's like Matt Schnell is an American top team product. They're going to get in his head. They're going to tell him the ways he lost. He's hopefully going to come in a little bit better. Whereas, where the hell does Alex Perez train at? I mean, I know he's good and everything like that, but who are his training partners? Like, I'm looking at these gyms, and you just don't see a lot of big names that you've heard of before. I know that he's had time with a lot of really good guys, right? Like, but I just don't know that he's like getting as much consistent training with like hammers like Schnell is and getting consistently good advice. I mean, first round guillotine by Figueiredo, taking the fight where he thought he needed to take it to win on the ground, granted, but I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, I'm just probably going to end up going with the underdog, Matt Schnell, but in very few parlays. Damn, I don't know, though, for my record. Yeah, Matt Schnell, because Perez can't wrestle against Matt Schnell. So I think Matt Schnell gets the win. Who did you take, Alex?
I'm going to take Perez. Fear the young man. with veteranship. You know, he's been in the UFC much longer. He has more UFC fights than Matt Schnell has fights, damn near. I mean, I guess that's not really true, but whatever. I'm going Alex Perez. He's been on a higher level. The only guys who he's lost to were Joe Benavidez and Davison Figueiredo. He beat Juicy Formiga. He's a contender in this division. He's going to take out Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell couldn't even get, what was his name out of there? Yeah, but Bontornio.
Bontorin.
Bontorin. Yeah, he can't get him out of there. He's going to have a hard time with Alex Perez.
All right, interesting. Either way, I'm going to see the weigh-ins. I'm going to see how these guys match up, how they face off. Next we got Ryan Hall taking on Derek Minner. Now, Ryan Hall, it finally happened, right? Like last fight, my hero, Ilia Topuria, came out there and destroyed him, right? Absolutely put him in the dirt. And what was Ryan Hall doing? What I always say not to do. He's spinning around like a top. He's diving for legs. A coward's approach to jiu-jitsu. I mean, if you do leg locks, you're an absolute coward. There's a reason that there's a code in jiu-jitsu not to do leg locks. It's because you don't hobble a man. You don't put a man out of work. You're not having fun with your friends and all of a sudden he can't go do his job the next day. You break somebody's arm, hey, they wrap it up, you're good. You can still work. You tuck it in your belt, you keep competing even, right? But somebody's leg, that's their livelihood. That's their moneymaker. And Ryan Hall, karma paid him back for all the knees he's tried to rip apart in his life. And even practically, guys, in a street fight, are you gonna be rolling around in the gutter, in the curb, in the dirt, with the used needles? I mean, trying to fight somebody? No. So it's a failed strategy, and it was proven by Ilia Topuria. Thank you, Ilia Topuria. I love you, Derek Minner. I think he gets subbed by Ryan Hall, though. Honestly, I mean, he's game. He's tough as nails. But if Darren Elkins could melt him, I think Ryan Hall has got to win this. He's coming in there. He's going to be really hesitant, even more so than he already is. He's not going to let Derek Minner get close. He's going to gas them. He's eventually going to get the fight where he needs it, and Ryan Hall probably gets a comeback win. That's my pick, but don't be surprised if I don't change it because, like I said, I genuinely hate everything about Ryan Hall's style, and picking him as a favorite at 36 years old against a guy 5 years younger coming out of Krause's gym, I'm switching right now. Derek Minner.
All right, Darren Minner is not submitting Ryan Hall, and that's his only path to victory.
True. I'm back on Hall. Sorry.
Ryan Hall is going to submit him, and that's going to be it. And that's all.
I'm back on Hall.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely at a disadvantage there. I also have an issue with people losing against Derek Elkins at this point in his career. So, yeah, I'm with Ryan Hall. Even though
Dan's pick to see if it should be certified. Sorry, even though what?
Nah, I was gonna say even though like this Topuria it's like you said, Topuria did exactly what everybody was kind of waiting on someone to do this, man. And we know where he stands. We know where he stands in the division, but I don't think that's going to happen to him at all in this fight. So
the only thing is Derek Minner has 38 fights to Hall's 10, right? And it's like, yeah. All leg tricks worked in like 6 fights, right? But Derek Minner, you think he's never seen somebody go for a knee bar before? You think Derek Minner's never had somebody roll for his legs before? Jiu-jitsu is his main shit. So then you have to ask, is his top control and his wrestling and his like ability to land strikes and make the fight look more appealing in the judge's eyes going to be better than Hall's, who's going to be diving around, flopping around like a fish the whole time? And then you're going to ask, is his striking better than Hall's? I don't know. I mean, Hall's striking is like Topuria said, he just throws shitty kicks. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of think Derek Minner could steal this one. Maybe this is going to be the dogs are barking card that we all thought last week was going to be, and last week kind of was. But I mean, when you have so many of these fights, there's 15 fights. There's got to be some dogs here. So I think Derek Minner as a dog, I'm kind of convincing myself to take him again.
I just feel like even if you throw a sloppy jab overhand, you can take out Ryan Hall. But
and Minner can. And he's not going to get knocked out. And if he could just not get submitted, he wins a decision or the cardio. But it's not like Ryan Hall's going to push his cardio.
Yeah, no.
In a way that Elkins does. Like the way that he lost Elkins, he was winning that fight and Elkins melded him. with cardio. Like he was beating the shit out of Elkins, and then he just faded because he got. It was the same as Clay Guida, you know, in the last fight kind of thing. But all right, well, listen.
And speaking of fading, we have Randy Costa versus Tony Kelly. Randy Costa, we all saw it. He got pieced up by Adrian Nunes. I made that reference earlier. I didn't even know that Randy Costa was on this card. Randy Costa, Tony Kelly. Luke, who do you have here?
Yeah, sadly, I got to go with Randy Costa. I just think that he's better everywhere, and he's got to have a get right moment. Tony Kelly, he's not really faced top-notch competition. He's lost to guys like Kevin Aguilar. He lost to Kai Kamaka III. His only win is against Ali Al-Qazi, who, you know, came in the UFC for a cup of coffee and was out of here. So I'm going with, you know, Randy Costa, but he's still a bad boy, and I don't like him. I loved him. I was so high on him. I was saying how good looking he is. Now all of a sudden, his loss to Nunes, where he quit in that fight. Let's be real, guys. He absolutely quit. He disgraced everybody who bet on him. Everybody was high on him that night. He looked so good in that first round. He had every opportunity, and he just didn't want to be there anymore. He didn't even get knocked out. He just looked for one of those shots to look clean enough to where he could drop to his butt and have the ref come in and stop it. And he's lucky he didn't have Dan Miragliotta in there, because Dan Miragliotta would have let him just die or something.
Oh, no. You saw the triad thing, didn't you?
I did see the triad thing, actually. But actually, I don't blame him for that one as much, because that one,
I do.
Really you know how they say he understood the assignment? Dan Miragliotta did not understand the assignment.
You saw a grown man who was literally the embodiment of a zombie. And you were just like, all right. Everybody
like,
okay?
Drunken master style, I believe. But it's a different set of rules for Dan too. You know, he's still getting used to him. He's like, is this a standing 8 count? I don't know what this is. I don't know how to call this. It's okay. So yeah, Randy Costa all the way.
Yeah, the two must be through. Randy Costa all day. Randy Costa. I think yeah, it's like if you want to look at the last fight, that first round looked like he bet on himself, or like, I don't know, maybe he knew his girlfriend was watching, or the girl he liked was watching, and then when they told him, hey, in the second round, oh yeah, she went home, he was like, all right, screw this, and sat down. No, I see him just outdoing Tony Kelly all the way. So
well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. He has every single fight that he's ever won has been a first round knockout. 46 seconds, 11 seconds, 1 minute, 11 seconds, 42 seconds, 2 minutes, 15 seconds, 41 seconds. And every time he's lost, it's been in the second round by finish. So he's
oh God, he got choked. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, by Brandon Davis, a bum. Brandon Davis is a bum, but he's one of those never say die guys. I think Tony Kelly might be one of those never say die guys. I think Tony Kelly might be able to surprise people here. I'm going to take Tony Kelly. Actually, I might take Randy Costa and then live bet Tony Kelly after the first minute of him getting his ass kicked, and I'll assess from there. If he's getting his ass kicked bad, but he's looking like the villain from Justified still, and firing back at him, then I'll go with Tony Kelly. But it's going to be a game time decision for me. I need to see if he can last 10 seconds. If he can give me a solid 10 seconds, 30 seconds, Tony Kelly might be my guy.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That would suck if he gasses again.
The live bet opportunity is a good little insurance play, though. Head out on that, you know, because Tony Kelly will be like plus 1,000 if he takes. If he's there for the beating, I think Costa's there to give in the first round. But you know, it could be exactly what we saw with Clay Guida and Santos. All right, sorry to bury the lead, guys, but the last pick of the night, this is our most exciting fight of the night, obviously. It's Priscilla Cachoeira versus Jillian the Savage Robertson. But this is interesting for a different reason, guys. This is interesting because the American top team product that is Jillian Robertson coming in at 5'5", and 63-inch reach, 26 years old, is a minus 400 favorite. Can you believe this shit? She's coming off 2
What?
losses. She's coming off of 2 fucking losses. One of them against Miranda Maverick, and the other one against Talia Santos. And before that, she's 2-3 in grappling matches, where she was only able to beat Pearl Gonzalez and Caitlin Chukagian. Other than that, she's getting smoked out with arm bars and knee bars in grappling matches over here. But yeah, she is not a minus 400 favorite. And in any world, in any universe, she's not a minus 400 favorite. You could put her in there with a broom, and I think it's minus 250. Okay.
Just fanboys, man.
Meanwhile, Priscilla Cachoeira coming in against off a win against a finish, Gina Mazzani, and then before that, a finish against Shayna Dobson, who had the upset of the year against Maria Agapova. So, I'm going with the underdog at plus, I believe it is, 300 odds. Guys, this is plus 300 odds. She's 33 years old. Let me see this real quick. Sorry. This is plus 300 odds. She's 33 years old, 3 months, 3 weeks. Do you know what that is? That's 33333. That's a divine number. 333, 33 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, 300 underdog, 3 threes. Threes are here. Everything on Priscilla Cachoeira. Everything on the underdog and Priscilla Cachoeira. I'm going to make an irresponsibly large bet on just Priscilla Cachoeira. Alex, what is your take?
I am also taking Priscilla Cachoeira. I look at who Jillian Robertson has fought.
I honestly don't even know who those people are.
It makes it rough. It makes it a little rough. I do not really know who any of those ladies are that she's fought. Priscilla, she's been in there with Shevchenko, and she lasted to the second round, 4 minutes and 25 seconds in. Almost made it to the third round. Molly McCann, she's had a resurgence, although Jillian Robertson has beaten Molly McCann. Luana Carolina, she's kind of had a bit of a resurgence as well. But so has Cachoeira. Luke, it's funny you mentioned that Jillian Robertson's coming off a 2-fight losing streak. I was like, oh, I might take the dog in Jillian Robertson here. I look at the line, that's outrageous. I'm going with Priscilla Cachoeira all the way.
Love it.
Definitely with Priscilla Cachoeira. Definitely. She's coming off of 2 KO wins. So it's I always forget that Jillian's not that old. Like still in her 20s.
She looks old. She feels old.
Yeah, the lady's 26. It's like, wow. Oh, okay.
She's got some miles on her.
Yeah, definitely. This is a person that when you see the record and then you see how she fights, you're like, okay, cool. So you're here, you're getting a paycheck, you will never be champion. Not trying to be an asshole. That's just what I see. I think she's getting knocked out. I do. I think she's getting knocked out. Like Priscilla has been in there with, like you said, the champ. Like, and that's the one thing that a lot of people remember, right? That she just got dogged in that fight. And they see that and they're just like, oh, she's just another one of these like cans of the 125 division, not gonna be anything. Whoop-de-doo. It's like, no, she just happened to be in there with the best. And that happens. That does not tell you who she is. I think the last 2 fights of hers kind of tells you who she is. So, yeah, no, I'm with her. I'm just not. I can't put my trust in Jillian Robertson. I can't.
I agree, Tovaun. You should never judge a lady based on her worst night. Ever. Rule of thumb.
And also, as far as the age thing goes, a lot of women lie about their age. So maybe she is older.
Potentially. But I mean, like, if you look at it, it's just like, okay, it's almost like the people that for some odd reason, I don't think anybody in their right mind thought about it. But the triad fights.
Yes.
Frank Mir versus what was it? Pulev? What's his last name? Yeah. Anybody that went up in there and like, oh, Frank Mir's gonna put up a good job. Y'all do realize homie's last fight was against Anthony Joshua for the championship of the world, right? Like this is a top level boxer walking in here to fight Frank Mir, who, let's just be honest here, when's the last time you saw him have the hands?
Yeah. Yeah. Even in his UFC fights, he's been knocked out by guys who aren't boxers. So it's like,
yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. It's like people will see these fights, and it's almost like anybody. Like if the first fight you saw in the UFC was Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar, and then you just thought Calvin Kattar was like, oh well, he put up a good fight, but that guy's not good. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. Because there are just some guys that will make really good guys look like you could beat them off the couch, but it's just not true. Like it's just not true. So yeah, no. I think the odds are this way because people are looking at how she lost against Shevchenko, and they see that she lost 3 in a row at one point, and they're just like, oh yeah, no, Jillian's gonna do it. Yeah, okay.
What do you think like about Luke fighting Chase Hooper? Do you think he has a chance?
hold on 1 second. And let me actually just say something. Chase Hooper's opponents have like 10 wins and 140 combined losses. He's only
wait a minute.
He's only a jiu-jitsu specialist. And not to mention, I don't actually have the. Oh yeah, I do. All right, check these hands.
He's ejected his ass. So
and I will definitely take EPO.
So the thing about Chase, right, is like he's how old is he again? Like
I think he's 25 by this point. He's like my brother Alex's age.
No, he's 22.
He's 22 right now.
Yeah, he's 22. Yeah, the boy ain't even got grown man strength yet. He like he's gonna have to die for a leg immediately. Look, anybody that has hands can do something with him. Just don't let him get a hold of you. That's about it.
Plus, I wrestled. He never wrestled. He can't take me down. He's gonna be. I'm gonna turn him into Ryan Hall. He's gonna be diving like for legs like Ryan Hall, dude.
Oh no.
No, we've challenged Chase Hooper openly. He has not gotten back to us. We're trying to get James Lynch on for a press release, but
I'm trying to find my way into a Gervonta Davis fight, at least to prove that I could take him down in 20 seconds with what he said in that interview.
Oh my gosh, dude! Yeah, there's a lot of boxers. There's a lot of boxers that guys off the street would make their wives. Like, let's be real.
Like, sir, I'm from the hood too. That does not mean takedown defense. I promise you, most guys in the hood I know don't have great balance.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I love him as a boxer. Stop talking about wrestling, sir.
Maybe if he was a surfer.
Oh my.
You know, if he surfed, if he was like, I'm from the beach, I surf, I got good balance. I'd be like, all right, that's fair.
Like, yeah, we'll see.
All right, we're gonna run through our complete picks. I got my DraftKings pulled up right now. I got a ton of underdogs, guys. This is getting crazy. It's a 14-fight parlay, so that's what the odds are. I'll drop my least confident ones off, and we'll just give you that one. But this is all out of order because DraftKings has them out of order. But from DraftKings order, we got Eric Anders plus 115 underdog, Bruno Silva minus 365 favorite, Priscilla Cachoeira plus 300 underdog, Tai Tuivasa minus 105, Matt Schnell plus 260, Randy Costa minus 190, Aaron Blanchfield plus 120, Dominic Cruz minus 110, Derek Minner plus 180, Josh Emmett minus 160, Santiago Ponzinibbio minus 110, Cody Garbrandt minus 155, Sugar Sean minus 310, Juliana Pena plus 600, baby, and Charles Oliveira plus 140. Now, if I bet this as a parlay, these 15 fights, all of them, holy shit, dude. If I bet a $10 bet on this and this happens, DraftKings is going to send somebody to my house to kill me, okay? Because I will have won $1,567,000. Okay?
Wow.
On a $10 wager. So if I win this, I'm going to buy a couple Bitcoin, and you'll never see or hear from me ever again, or at least for about 2 weeks. Keto is done. The keto diet is done, and everything else is done as well. This podcast will be on hiatus. The boys will handle it. But bottom line is a $10 bet on that 15 pick parlay that I just rattled off wins you $1,500,000. So
Hell out of here.
they're either going to send a hitman or they're going to come bring me a jacket, a Letterman jacket that says DK, because I'm going to be putting that million back into DraftKings. They're going to call me partner by that point. So it's going to be a good weekend, guys. Alex, rattle through your picks while I just see what a more realistic parlay looks like.
All right, I got Alex Perez, Josh Emmett, Bruno Silva, Priscilla Cachoeira, Miranda Maverick, Tai Tuivasa, Randy Costa, Ryan Hall, Andre Muniz, Dominic Cruz, Jeff Neal, Kai Kara France, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Amanda Nunes, and Dustin Poirier. $10 on that will win you $28,446.28. And listen, guys, I am statistically due. I had the worst week of the entire season. I guarantee, hand up, if I do worse than I did last week, next week, you will never see me again. And neither will anyone else.
Which one are we going by, the 4 out of 13 or the 5 out of 13? Because this is 15 fights. So if you can't get 6 right out of these 15, you're doomed. That means even if, yeah.
We'll go off the 4. So all I need is 5.
Because he was, okay. Tovaun, final word goes to you. You can just rattle off whatever you want. I don't know if you have DraftKings handy, but you can just give your full picks. You can read them off Tapology and then let the people know where to find you and all that jazz.
You said read them off Tapology. Okay, I'll just go.
Or if you got DraftKings handy, you can read them off.
I don't have DraftKings on you right now. Let's see here. What? Just picks from top to bottom?
Yeah, just list them top to bottom because some people like to tail us, so some people might want to tail your picks. So it's just good to give them a list at the end of the show.
All right. I got Cachoeira, Costa, Hall. Did I say Matt Schnell? I think I said Matt Schnell. Yeah, Matt Schnell, Miranda Maverick. Oh my God. Andre Muniz, Bruno Silva, Augusto Sakai, Dominic Cruz, Josh Emmett, Sean O'Malley, Kai Kara France, Ponz Amanda Nunes. Please, can she just fight like a Tekken character already? But and Dustin Poirier.
I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure I don't know what Amanda Nunes is getting paid for this fight. It's if Masvidal versus Edwards was going to be on this card, maybe Amanda Nunes would have made it away with the bag. But that got pulled. So Amanda's not going to be getting more than 800,000 pay-per-view buys on this card. That's a fact. Now,
100%.
I'm going to make $1 million if I win, if Amanda Nunes loses. So Amanda, I'm just saying, I got to pay 37% tax if I win. So we're still talking the even million here. Are you making more than $500,000? I mean, you lose $500,000. We got a seat on this show for you. Lose, Amanda Nunes, you lose. You got a seat on this podcast, and I guess what it pays $500,000 a year contract. Just so happens. But it only pays for somebody who loses the title in a co-main event this Saturday. That's who we're looking for the show. If you catch my drift. This may be a federal crime what I'm doing, so I want to just do this. I want to just do this one more time. And I want to just throw that up on there. I don't want to do racketeering or anything of that nature. Amanda, don't fix the fight. But have that wine the night before if you want it. Do you, girl? YOLO, you only live once. Tomorrow is not promised. Pura vida. Anyway, that's been the show, guys. I want to thank our brilliant guest, Tovaun, for coming on the show for a second time. That's how you know he likes us, because he's done it twice. Tovaun, tell the people, where to find you on all your socials, what you're all about.
Man, you can find me on any social media platform at Aoxis, AEOXIS. And, as far as what I'm doing, getting back to the raps, I've taken a couple of weeks off because I've been preparing for the Music and Gaming Festival, MagFest. It's an annual game convention that happens at the National Harbor around here every year. And I'm playing main stage in January. So that's going to be fun. I got sidetracked by the pandemic. So last year it didn't happen. So this year I'm happy about it. Other than that, just stay tuned for more fun rap content. I'm gonna start implementing rock into there, and then I think I might have said it before, like the last time I was on on the show with you guys, like definitely getting back to training. I'm actually thinking about going over to what gym is that over there? Ground Control. Former training partner of mine trains there. So now that I'm in the Baltimore area, I'm closer to there, and I'm just gonna see what's going on because I'm getting older and I want to get back in there.
Absolutely. We completely understand that, man. It's tough. And you're playing the main stage, and that's going to be when? What date is that, in case people want to come out and see it?
January, what is the Saturday? That Saturday, January 8th. MagFest is January 6th through the 9th. I will be playing the Saturday at 3 p.m. So I'll be kicking off the main stage acts that performances that day. So that'll be fun.
When you first said it, I thought you meant your gaming main stage, like in a tournament or something. But you're playing.
No. Oh man, competitive gaming. No, they can keep that. They can keep that, man.
Hell yeah. Well, we love all your content. We love seeing you around. Keep it up, and thank you very much for being on the show, Alex. Where can the people find you?
They can find me at Euro_King on Instagram. Follow Luke at PPP Certified on Instagram. Follow Dan on Twitter at what, Luke?
Perfect_parlay. And make sure you join the Discord. Axios is in there. Tovaun Anthony is in the Discord. I've seen his name appear. You cannot miss it. And we got about 150, almost 200 members in there now. So get a part of the Triple P army. There's lots of picks flying around. People are making outlandish bets. I see guys betting thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, posting their bet slips. People way more hardcore than us who are not just doing lunch money to rent money. They're doing rent money to small investment property money. So let's get it going, guys. Join the Discord. Tell us you saw the show. Let us know where you're from. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Throw a like and subscribe on the video. And with that, we're out. Join us on Friday to see Danny Bittman's picks in entirety and our after the weigh-ins thoughts. Adios.